Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at people who escaped a bad date. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. In a time before the safe word existed, I was on a terrible first date at a bar. The guy was super handsy and wouldn't stop touching me. I excused myself to the washroom and an angel of a bartender came down to check on me. She had noticed I looked uncomfortable and asked if I needed help. I said yes and she left and told the guy to pay his tab and leave because the date was over. She was a legend. I love it when girls save girls. Seriously, I love it. So sweet of her to even notice as well. Girls just know. One time when I worked at a convenience store, a regular walked in and asked me to walk out to the car with her because her ex-boyfriend was outside and wouldn't leave her alone. I gladly did it. I was the only guy at the store, but I'm sure the guy laughed to himself when he'd seen my 5'3" scrawny ass escorting his ex to the car. He tried to talk to her and I got in between them and told him to leave or I'd call the cops. He left peacefully and quickly, so that was the end of it for me. That's so nice. Even though he knew his own size, he was still protective. I love it. This happened to me, but not the way you think. The wife and I thought it'd be funny to try the roleplay of pick me up in the bar thing. Smooth Me ordered her a drink from across the bar. She eventually came over and we chatted a bit, and as we were starting to leave, the bartender checked to make sure she was okay with me leaving with her. Yeah, he's my husband. He just has shitty game. Respected that bartender though. You know what though? I feel like if you've known someone for such a long time romantically, your game gets worse and worse. So to the bartender, it was probably like cringe. Like, what is this guy doing? He's so cringe. Was out with a couple of friends and one had brought along a lad she barely knew and was essentially a rebound. He was a creep trying to put his hands down her pants and nut her top in the middle of the restaurant. Yes, an actual restaurant. At 6 p.m, so certainly wasn't quiet. She told him no and stopped repeatedly, but he wouldn't and was just telling me to F off and mind my own business. When my friends went to the toilet and he went for a smoke, I went to the bar. Asked if Eileen was working as my friend needs help. The lad knew what I meant, sent a female staff member to the toilets, radioed the doorman who came over and told the lad he was out of control and needed to leave. The lad threw a punch at the doorman, called me a ferret, then was dragged outside by two large doormen. Police were called and no idea what happened after that. I bet he was like a nice guy before all this. A ferret? Why is a ferret an insult though? I would gladly like to be called a ferret. They're cute. Thanks for calling me cute. Can you imagine someone just calling you a ferret? You'd be so confused. You wouldn't even be offended. You'd be like, a ferret? Okay. I worked at a nightclub where the women's restroom basically had a panic button. It got a lot of young women out of some bad situations. What? That's so cool. I think every nightclub should have this because that's where most of the predators are. Went on a first date with a guy I met online. I'm 22, he was 38, which I figured might be fine until he started immediately going on about how girls my age are way more grateful and how he prefers women who haven't been ruined by bad relationships. Yuck! They're 16 years apart? Yeah, no. What is like a 40-year-old doing with a 20-year-old? No. And what he means is he likes to control women. Okay? Run. He kept leaning in way too close, saying how he liked how innocent I looked, and then casually started rubbing my thigh under the table while talking about how soft and obedient I seemed. I froze. It was that gross kind of touch where you don't want to make a scene, but your whole body's screaming to get away. I excused myself to go to the loo, walked past the bar, and quietly asked the bartender if Angela was working tonight. He just nodded and said, right this way. Within a minute, a female staff member found me by the bathrooms and said someone was waiting for me outside. They walked me out the back, stayed with me while I ordered a cab and made sure I was safe. He texted me the next day saying he hoped I learned to be more polite. Immediately blocked and reported, yuck! Disgusting! I'm so glad they got her out of there because seriously, he is an actual creep. A buddy and I are out for drinks and two people are clearly on a date on the stools next to us. She goes to the bathroom and a minute later my friend elbows me and points at the ladies' class where a pill is dissolving. We had a discreet discussion about the best way to deal with this. Take him outside and beat the shit out of him or tell the bartender. We told the bartender and she quickly tossed the drink and went to meet the woman in the bathroom before 86ing the guy. Woman was terrified and there was no calling the cops because the pill was gone at that point, down the drain. I've never been much of a fighter but still wish we'd hurt that guy. Holy moly, I'm so glad that these two caught on. Because what the frick? This is exactly why they say to never leave your drink unattended. Because you never know. Okay, you never know. Your date could seem like the nicest guy, but you will never know their true intentions. People can act really well. It's scary. I didn't use the safe word, but years ago in Austin, a girlfriend and I were out. We were at the bar but facing the stage to watch live music. There was a mirror behind the bar, and as I was half turned to talk to her, I noticed an old man behind her lean in to sniff her hair. I did a double take. He noticed, so he started to pretend he was leaning in to chat with her. The bartender saw, wrote me a note asking if we needed his help. I shook my head yes. Not even a minute later, he ran at the bar, grabbed the guy by the shoulder. I think the ladies want to be left alone, and made him leave. That's freaking creepy. Somebody just sniffing your hair. Ugh, why? Like, grandpa over here, just go home. What are you doing being creepy? You've lived most of your life. Literally. What are you doing? Go home and take a freaking nap. My manager had to do this. Poor lass was being stalked by her ex and she asked if Angela was working. He said of course and took her upstairs to meet her until the cops arrived to deal with the guy. The second worst part is, it's so lucky he was trained for that because none of the rest of us were trained at all, despite there being posters around the building that literally said staff were specially trained to help victims who ask for Angela. I would have known, and many of my women co-workers probably did, but not because we were trained for it. And she got so lucky she ran into the right person. I don't know what happened to her after that, but I hope she's safe and well. I hope she's safe and well too. It's so scary to be stalked by your ex. Like, you want nothing to do with that person anymore and they're literally stalking you. Why can't people just move on? Like, just understand that it's over and move on. If you guys broke up, but clearly that's not your person. It's a life lesson. Now go. Go and do better things with your life. It started off like any other awkward first date small talk. Drinks, nothing too weird. But halfway through, he leaned in, smiled and said, if you ever ghost me, just remember, I'm really good at finding people. My stomach dropped. I laughed it off, excused myself, and went to the bar. Told the bartender I needed an angel shot with a twist. He didn't even blink, just gave me a quiet nod and walked away. A minute later, security showed up and asked the guy to step outside. Turns out he had a knife on him. I still don't know what would have happened if the staff hadn't stepped in, but they handled it like pros. I went home shaken but safe. He had a freaking knife on him? For what? Like, what was he gonna use it for? If someone rejects him on a date, he's gonna stab them. What the hell? It's so scary out there, man. Literally so scary. What the frick? So I guess all the code names are pretty much like Angela, Angel. Pretty good. Maybe it's because it's easier to remember. Hey, is Angela here? Hey, I need Angela. Hey, I'm asking for Angela. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.